Hi guys, my name is Dominic, team leader of Project PERIPHAS, and this year we are representing ARIS at Europe 2022. We have manufactured all carbon parts ourselves. Inside this nose cone sits our acoustic levitation payload. Just below it we have our drogue and steerable ram air parachute. The ram air parachute is controlled by the actuator section. It houses all the motors for deploying and steering the parachutes. Then we have our in-house developed separation system for the nose cone. Our electronics rack sits below it. It's the brain of the rocket and it steers all motors above as well as below it. For example, the air brakes, which by extending these flaps are going to allow us to target a precise apogee. Last but not least, we have our motor and fin section, which is going to propel us to 3 kilometers. The completely custom electronics have been designed, assembled and tested right here by the team. It provides us with the accurate measurements we need for get sent to work. The software that is running on a flight computer has been developed right here. It controls all phases of our mission, like arming, which is triggered for this ground station. The guidance, navigation and control team works on the algorithm that steers the rocket to the landing zone during descent. They do a lot of simulations right here, but we test their system like this.
Good, welcome everybody on this nice Saturday, live from Wichlen in Canton Glarus. My name is Michael, I'm the president of ARIS and I'm joined
by Xeno. My name is Xeno Meinberg, I'm head of academic relations at ARIS. We are here today for a really nice launch day of our project PERIPHAS. And maybe Michi, you can tell us more about what the goal is today.
Yes, with pleasure. So today, as you see here, we picked a very nice spot in the middle of the Swiss Alps. It's actually quite difficult to find spots in Switzerland that allow you to do what we are planning to do today. Namely, we want to launch our rocket PERIPHAS to roughly 1,100 meters, and that's the important part for our project PERIPHAS, recover it with our guided recovery system. And yeah, so the way that works is that at apogee we'll eject first the drogue chute, and then at 900 meters above ground we'll eject a paraglider with which we then hopefully fully recover the rocket and steer it back to us. Yeah, maybe a little bit about today. So could you tell us a bit about what the team has been working on so far today and where we're standing at?
Yeah, so most of the team arrived here today at 8 a.m. We plan today to bring the entire system here, assemble it until midday, and then shortly after 1 or 2 p.m. To launch the rocket. Reason why we only launch at 1:30 or later is that we got the permission from the Swiss federal government to actually launch here. It's a very special occasion. Not many teams are allowed to do so, or let's say private people or associations, and it's a real privilege to do this here today.
And I think so far we've been quite lucky, right? Everything is going quite smoothly so far. So the team started, as you said, very early, assembling the systems, testing that everything works. I think the rocket itself, I don't know, you want to say a few words about what we're dealing here with today in terms of size and an engine and what kind of special technicalities the system contains?
Yeah, today's system is building up on heritage in ARIS. Over the years we really learned quite a lot about sounding rockets, beginning with TEL, going on further with Heidi and EULER, with commercial off-the-shelf motors, which we have in this system here today. Furthermore, we were able to test the air brakes over the last couple of years, which we also built into PERIPHAS. And furthermore, building up on the guide recovery system from last year's focus project Phoenix, PERIPHAS this year was able to extend its technological readiness and bring it to new heights, so that we today can launch, I think, about a 2.5 meter large rocket up to 1,100 meters above ground.
Yeah, and it's, as you said, I think technically we're building up a lot about on the other projects, so it's really a blend of everything that ARIS has to offer. But not only on the technical side, we're building up on the knowledge. This is actually the second time that we're attempting a launch in Switzerland. The first time we had a launch in 2020, the first year of the pandemia, with Project EULER, and there we launched at a different spot in Wasserfalle in Luzern, I believe.
Luzern, yes.
Exactly. And actually we are now very happy with this spot, not just because it's beautiful as you see in the background, but also because it's a very nice and open valley that allows us to really perfectly monitor the rocket as it goes up, but then also importantly for PERIPHAS to when it then comes down on its paraglider. And I think we have some issues with the video. Unfortunately, we're trying to fix that as we speak, but let's see if we can get that going. Yeah, maybe you might be wondering, why is it the two of us that are sitting here and not someone from PERIPHAS? PERIPHAS right now, of course, as you can imagine, they are quite busy. They are currently at the launch rail. I don't know what they're doing there, so can you say a few words what they're up to now?
Yeah, so as far as I understood is that they brought up the system about 1 hour ago. They had some issues with cows in the surroundings of the launch site, which shouldn't be a showstopper today, but of course we are looking on our environment as well, and the well-being of every living being here in the mountains. So what they do now is they put in the motor into the rocket, will erect the launch rail with it, and then we expect them to be here in a couple of minutes here at the ground station, where they can start with the launch procedures.
Yeah, and you mentioned the cows before, so this is actually a fun fact that I learned today. So during their simulations they actually took their cows into account. So they already asked today the farmer to move the cows out of the area where a potential hit of the rocket could occur. So in fact we really assured that no person nor animal is in the range. So as you said, we're trying to take care of the environment here as well. And yeah, if everything goes planned, we'll fully recover our rocket and hopefully leave no traces of us ever being here.
Yeah, and especially today, it's really nice to see the further advancements in ARIS with this guide recovery system. We can, pretty much, predict where we can land our rocket, which is really cool. The system has been tested thoroughly throughout this year, and we are really confident today that this will be a success.
Yes. Maybe since there's still some issues with the video, I see, we could maybe blend over to a video for now and see if we can resolve it with us offline. And we'll be back after the video. Hopefully by then we've resolved this problems. See you in a bit. Maybe since there's still some issues with the video, I see, we could maybe blend over to a video for now and see if we can resolve it with us offline. And we'll be back after the video. Good, welcome back. Hopefully we've resolved the issues. It's always like a faulty contact, as everybody knows it. But maybe we now managed to stabilize the video. And actually in the meantime we could use the time to get a quick update from the launch site.
Yeah, so currently the system is fully assembled. The visitors are all gathered here waiting. The team will now erect the launch rail with the rocket on it. We'll take some final pictures, check if everything is nominal, and then afterwards, in a couple of minutes, they will drive back down here to mission control and to the visitor area. When we look at this launch site, what does really make this launch site remarkable to you?
Yeah, I think the nice thing, as we already said before, is really this openness. You also see that we're actually really far away from the launch pad itself. So I think it's probably roughly a kilometer or maybe more that we are away from the launch pad, which of course is very nice. When you start a rocket, you don't want to be next to it, be in safe distance, which we can do here. So I think here you actually don't see so much yet, but of course then when we actually do the launch, we'll try to capture as much of the ascent of the rocket as possible. But yeah, exactly. So it's this really openness of this nice valley, and I think we had very good experiences when doing our drop tests here in the past.
Yeah, and even this valley is very useful in terms of having two mountains in between on each side, and we were even able here to test when it was really cold. Winter it was no problem due to the access to the roads, and now in summer of course the nice weather invites nearly everyone here from ARIS to come up here to witness such a great launch. Over 2 years ago was the last one, so it's really nice to be here. And also for the first time ARIS will launch 2 rockets in 1 year, and then also in October for a third time, so we are making progress every year. That's really amazing.
Very busy, and I think I've already talked to everyone from the team, and I'm always very surprised, or positively surprised, how well the organization of such an event by now works. Like everybody knows exactly what documents to prepare and who needs to be where and what people you need, and I think this is really something that we made also quite some progress on compared to the last launch in Switzerland, where we actually also had visitors. Today we have visitors as well, but I just feel that the whole atmosphere with the team being quite relaxed but focused is a very, very nice one, and I'm very happy and optimistic that the launch will go well today. Yeah, so as we're speaking now, I think currently we're still having roughly maybe half an hour. So the team currently is still at the launch site. So we were informed that the rocket is erected, or
it should be erected now.
It should be erected now, exactly. And I think the team will now still proceed to take some nice pictures for all our sponsors. Of course, every sponsor needs to have their shot with their logo on the rocket livery. And also taking some nice shots of the rocket on the launch rail. I think it's also the first time of the rocket being completely with the livery on the launch rail. I think the first time it didn't have its livery yet, so that's also the first time that the whole rocket is nicely put together, and we want to really take the occasion to take some nice pictures. But after that, the team will come back here to mission control, and then of course. To see how we can then still provide you with updates, because they'll actually be just sitting next to us. They will be going through their procedures, making sure that every system in the rocket is ready, and after that hit the launch button.
Yeah, and I think for a very long time we have been working on the system. Even though it's only 2 years, it feels like that we have quite a lot of knowledge on this recovery system, and it also is a really nice alternative compared to other recovery systems, I'd say. And for sure, for sounding rockets, this is actually what we are looking for, and hopefully we can continue on with this technology in the future, with future sounding rockets which even go to higher altitudes.
Yes, in fact, recovering rockets with just a normal parachute is nice if you go to, I don't know, 10 kilometers. But I guess if you go any higher than that, your winds might become quite annoying, or just a rocket being launched far away from the launch pad means that the rocket will land far away, and then being really able to tell your first stage maybe to come back to the launch pad is certainly a key technology that we're very happy to test today for the first time in a real launch environment. Though just to 1.1 kilometers, which is not as high as we were aiming for it at EULER, but I think it will still be a good first test for the system in a real world condition. Good. Yeah, I think for now, is there anything else we would like to give an update on?
I'd say so for now. Please, sit tight, enjoy the beautiful view. It will be a really exciting launch. Seeing this launch happen in Switzerland will be a great pleasure, and also seeing the guide recovery system live, ejected from a flying rocket would be really nice milestone which we reach here today.
Yeah, maybe on the timeline we could still try to take a brief break now, and we would probably be back with you at around 14:30. Hopefully by then the team is already arrived back from the launch rail or is on its way back from the launch rail, and then we would give you another update. Currently we would estimate another 30 minutes to the launch, but we would give you an update at again 14:30. Then see you then.
launch pad from mission control. Can you come in? Over.
Jawohl.
Copy. Can you give us a rough estimate on what the timeline is now? Over.
Also, Rakete ist ready. Komplett. Wir legen sie jetzt aufs Launch Trail, dann wird sie erected. Und dann geht's ab, dann kommen wir runter. Estimated time of launch, T-minus 30 minutes.
Copy. Over and out.
Michi, vielleicht den Zuschauern noch sagen, dass eine halbe ja.
Also ich habe gerade vorher gesagt,
Ah, du hast gesagt.
als ihr hier geredet habt, habe ich gesagt so eine halbe Stunde.
Okay.
Also honestly,
Ich finde es wurde schwierig, ich sehe den Weg mit Worten schon.
ja. Ich meine, das wurde für Leute. Wenn ihr mal den Roden wieder mal erected wird, dann würde ich fast Kopf verschaffen, aber sonst.
Damit kann man jetzt mal einen Block machen.
Sorry. Ihr könnt tendenziell alle ein bisschen. Wie habt ihr da? Ja. Würden dann akustisch so. Okay.
Ja, maybe so that was such a conversation, so flow and all.
Gut. Ja, ist gut. Okay, da. Ja, wir ja sagen.
Nein, das nicht.
Ja,
Geführt. Das ist nicht so komisch.
Ja, Bergung.
Der ist ein bisschen zu schlagen.
Ja,
Bergig denkst du immer so Lawine.
ja, genau.
Wo ARIS, ja. Also jetzt wird es glaube ich verspätet, wenn es logisch ist.
Können wir nochmal so einen Nervenführerschein.
Ja. Schedule gesehen, wann sie alle da unten sind und Leute so oh wow. Also
Das heißt, das Handling ist Problem.
was kann von 2 Autos
Also weißt du ungefähr, so was das heißt? Können wir das auch mal? Wir könnten am besten einführen mit dem.
Ja, nur gehört.
Okay. Okay, aber wir können es sagen, wir nehmen da.
Ja, das ist echt
Also ja,
Chaos.
ja, mit dem genau. Dann, also ja, welcome back. Vielleicht kurzes Update, nachher so für die, die erst jetzt zuschaltet, nochmal alles kurz vorstellen. Und dann können wir erzählen, was das ist mit Delivery, dass wir alle
Okay.
Good. Welcome back, everyone, from Wichlen, Canton Glarus. Hello also to everyone who joined now. My name is Michael Kerschbaum. I'm the president of ARIS, and I'm joined today by Xeno Meinhardt, the head of academic relations, and we also now have a new guest, Alex Hansen, the system engineer of the previous focus project Phoenix, that more or less laid the groundwork for project PERIPHAS. I think we now have a few updates. I think you've heard a few things about what's
Exactly.
going on, Alex.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there are still some things in the range safety which have to be accomplished before going on with launch procedures. I think the team needs another couple of minutes until these are resolved, and once that is done, they can proceed with the launch.
Yes, so it's always currently I think there's no technical problems, at least so to what we understand. As we mentioned before, cows in the way, people in the range, but as soon as this is cleared, we'll get the people back. And I think you said before that once the team is back here, it might be another 45 minutes if everything goes to plan. Which, I don't know. Do you know a bit about what the sequence actually contains? So what will happen in the 45 minutes when they're back here?
Yeah, so most of the team will come back here with only 2 people still being at the rocket. I think they will have to work on the igniter, put that in, make sure that it's correctly implemented into the rocket, and once that has been done, everyone has to come back to the safety range here. And once that has been done, I think there are some telemetry checks and checks if all systems are go. And once that has been done, we'll proceed with the launch. So yeah, exciting times today, definitely.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe you can tell us, since you have been part of Phoenix last year, what has changed from last year to this year? How has PERIPHAS kind of made the next step with your system?
Absolutely. Yeah, so we were the first iteration of the guided recovery project in ARIS. Our goal was to make a feasibility study if this system is potentially a good match for our rockets, and we found that is true, and PERIPHAS took our system to a completely new level. They've done it way more lightweight, such that it could be implemented to a rocket, because our system Phoenix from last year was not designed to fly in a rocket. Now the goal of PERIPHAS was really to design a whole system which fits into a rocket and can be operated within it. So it's more lightweight, the controls are designed to actually perform very precise landings, and today we have the first test within a rocket, which is mainly the difference between our system Phoenix to PERIPHAS system of today.
Yeah, so now I think our viewers already know a bit about what they can expect. Kind of a paraglider being ejected at roughly 900 meters above ground, and then hopefully steering the rocket back towards us. Maybe you can go a bit more in detail into how the system really works, like what it takes to actually have a rocket being recovered with a parachute.
Absolutely. Yeah, so as you already said, we have a rocket launch going up, and at a certain height we will have separation. I think close to the apogee the system will separate with the help of CO2 gas pressure, and once that has been done, the system will deploy a drogue parachute, which firstly it stabilizes the whole rocket body, and in a second step it will slow down the system to a terminal velocity where the main deployment will occur. That's around 900 meters above ground level. And once that has been done, the system needs to stabilize for around 3 or 4 seconds in straightforward flight. And once that has been done, the whole control loop will be initialized. So the system has to locate itself and calculate where it wants to go. Does it want to make a left turn first, a right turn first? And when that decision has been calculated by the system, we'll proceed to go towards the landing spot, which has been decided before the launch.
Yeah, maybe you can go more on to this approach. What were like the options to decide on certain approaches? What is what is actually more in detail? What is about with this approach of
Absolutely.
PERIPHAS?
So in PERIPHAS system there is a so-called guidance unit. This guidance unit calculates the trajectory which the system wants to follow, and there are 2 different guidance techniques in PERIPHAS. Today they went with a double wall guidance, so they call it. And there we have two walls or two straight lines going from west to east, and they are parallel to each other. So when the system passes through one of these walls, it will initialize a 180 degrees turn going to the other side, and once it pierces through the other wall, it will do the same. So we will see like a sine wave pattern of the system while it decreases its altitude.
And now actually got the update that the rocket is now erected, which is a very good sign. I think then the next steps would be the arming of the probably avionics and making sure that everything is working, doing some last checks. And then, as you said already, people will start coming back before then inserting the igniter into the rocket. So you now said a few things about how this like approach will work out. Of course, this is not the first time that we actually test this approach. Maybe you can tell a bit our viewers like what the months, but also years, like the work that your project did already, what was tested, and maybe also like learnings and what went wrong, and maybe also a surprise that you had as a team, like something that didn't work out quite as you expected in the beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah, so PERIPHAS had a very long and intense testing phase, and while we were in that testing phase, we did it with the help of helicopter drop tests. So we didn't always fly up a rocket to test the guided recovery system. We had the possibility to do drop tests with the helicopter, where the whole system is attached to one and dropped from a certain height. And with that, step by step, we came closer to flying closed loop, which means the system flying autonomously. So in the first few drop tests, you have to fly open loop, where there are just predefined actuator inputs. This means you always had to define before the drop test how you want to actually steer the parachute. But this can be very difficult, because depending on in which direction the parachute will be flying after it has been dropped from the helicopter, the trajectory in the mountain region here will be completely different. So you have to avoid terrain collision, and you have to make sure that the actuator's inputs defined before the drop test won't collide for any scenario. So you have to calculate wind, you have to calculate all the trees we have here, and come up with an optimal actuator input to do that. And one big learning here, the recovery of that system can be very hard and very time consuming. Depending on where it lands, the recovery has to be done on foot. You have to cross some small river, and that makes recovery very, very hard, because especially in the winter, when you have 3 meters of snow laying around here, it's very tiring and a great workout at the same time.
Yeah, I guess happy that you did those workouts.
Yeah,
you,
absolutely.
You and your guys, and also with PERIPHAS. So now you said a few things about what the challenges are. Where do you see kind of what is the worst thing that could happen during such a controlled flight, and is there anything that one can still do in order to rescue the system?
Yes, so there are 2 or 3 things which could happen here, as we are doing a closed loop flight today, where the system autonomously steers the system. You have to make sure that all sensors retrieve correct data. If there are no sensors from the data, the system doesn't know how it should steer itself towards the ground. That's one thing. Another possible issue which might occur is a hardware related issue. So as we have a steerable parachute, you have a lot of lines which could entangle with some other parts within the system. And if that occurs, the team has implemented a safety feature which is called the emergency spiral. So this team have very clear procedures here. If they say this system enters a unstable flight, they can deploy it from the ground, and the system will continue in a spiral coming very controlled towards the ground. And this feature has also been tested during the drop test. So this works, it saved the system a lot of time and makes sure that every drop test ends with a fully intact system.
Yeah, as you mentioned, right, they need this correct sensor data, and also failures can happen on the hardware. How do you think, how much ground tests are there necessary to avoid such issues?
Oh yeah, that's definitely a big thing in testing. You have to make sure that the telemetry works for different distances, for different angle of attack for the radio waves basically. So you have to place the system higher up, you have to send it from different angles to make sure that telemetry is always guaranteed. And you can do those tests on the ground. You can place the system and the radio station 5 kilometers apart, for example, and test that really thoroughly. Once that has been done, you can show that the telemetry works at all times, and thus can be used within the drop test, where the telemetry is absolutely crucial, because in case of some malfunctioning, you always want to disarm the system while it's on the helicopter, because there we have a height trigger. So when the helicopter wants to descend for some reason, we have to make sure that the system is disarmed. So telemetry is really a vital thing for the system, and has to be thoroughly tested.
Good. Maybe a last personal question. So you've spent like a year as a focused project student in ARIS, and now a year as a coach, if I'm
Absolutely.
correctly.
Yeah.
What is it that you kind of on a personal level take away from your work here, and how you enjoyed your time, and specifically also working on such a project related to space engineering?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I can only recommend it. It's a lot of work, it's hard work, but it's very rewarding. So you work towards a common goal within the team for a year straight with not many breaks. So there's really a goal which you have set in your mind. You want to achieve that by all means possible. So what I've taken away, it's definitely a lot of technical learnings. For example, how do you code things in a very neat way such that everyone understands it? How do you prepare a drop test such that it works smoothly and all parties included work together very well? And one very important thing also, the friends you make during that process. So it's a very bonding experience, and it's a lot of tears and sweat which are being consumed here basically. So great experience. Space engineering is also very cool. Can only recommend it.
Good. Yeah, then I think we can leave it with that. Thanks a lot,
Right.
Alex, for this quick interview.
Thank you.
So from our side, I think we'll again try to get an update. As I said before, the launch rail is now erected, which is already a very good sign. So the team should be getting ready to come back to the mission control here with us. And once they're here, I think the procedures should be a bit more, hopefully going hand in hand. And then after that, we should be at around 45 more minutes until we see the rocket lift off. I don't know when should we call in again.
Maybe in like 15-20 minutes.
Good, then maybe let's try to be back at around 3:05. Then we'll try to have maybe another interview, and then see you guys then. Thank you.
Nein, das ist eine concurrent, das sind wiederkehrende News und was sollen die aber das ist halt wirklich gut. Weil it is
wahrscheinlich ja sehr viel schwieriger, weil es da klar
Frage an Anna oder soll man antworten? Jawohl, Fabian. Muss der Nico nochmal rauffahren mit dem Auto? Nein, wir gesagt, ein paar Minuten nach der Schule da und holt Max und Anna ab. Verstanden, Chef?
Das ist der Abend. Das heißt, dann 45 Minuten ist. Also 44 Minuten. Sieht's gut aus?
Yep.
Wo ist das Mikrofon an?
Bei dem da?
Nein, den hat es nicht.
Ah. Source. Dürft ihr Stuhl haben? Ground station alle, ground station ready. Ground Station alle, wir sind im Live Rocket State und haben mehr oder weniger stabile, oder nein, ziemlich stabile Telemetrie.
Janko?
Ja.
Janko von Moritz, bitte antworten.
Hallo Moritz.
Kannst du die Ignition Box einschalten für Telemetry Test?
Yes, mache ich gerade.
Bitte bestätigen, wenn eingeschaltet. Bitte bestätigen, wenn eingeschaltet.
Ignition Box eingeschaltet.
Was? Donald Fabian. Antworten.
Fabian Andon, ja.
Airbox ist eingeschaltet. Nur zur Info. Es soll anscheinend noch ein Bus um 15:52 Uhr hier bei mir.
Telemetry LED blinkt.
Das heißt. Wunderbar. Dann schalten wir jetzt wieder ab und dann sind wir fertig. Bei euch vorbeischauen.
Confirm.
Wenn wir das richtig verstanden haben, am 15:02 Uhr.
Avionics Cloud,
Wer ist da?
und Guided Recovery locked out, telemetry stable und the ignition successful over.
Verstanden.
Schluss.
Wir haben jetzt die andere Abholzing und wir jetzt nachher den richtigen Igniter resolve. Confirm.
Ist gut, passt. Danke.
Der Schirmband.
Welcome back. Here from Wichlen, Glarus. Launch day here from ARIS, Project PERIPHAS. Today with us, or let's say for now with us, is Fabian.
Hi guys.
What's your role in PERIPHAS?
I'm doing structures and the separation mechanism, but right now my main duty is the safety officer for this test.
And of course now you gave your role to someone else, so this launch will still entirely be safe.
Yeah.
But maybe can you go through the steps you did prior to this moment? What were the things you had to do up to this point?
So there were two tracks that I was working on specifically. One was the structural track. That meant doing the entire airframe, all the couplers, all the racks. I had great help from my colleagues. We worked together beautifully. But our goal was to make a solid and structurally integral rocket that could launch and that doesn't break through any mission stage. That is the one part. The other part was safety. That is to ensure that no person and no animal gets hurt, and also that we do not destroy major infrastructure or anything else, so that the entire thing is safe and we can launch here again next time.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned structure now, so I guess on the one side for the rocket structure you could learn a lot from previous ARIS rockets, I guess, but on the other hand there's also many aspects that needed to be rethought for PERIPHAS. Can you say a few challenges that you faced throughout the project?
Sure. So we had the great opportunity that ARIS already had, I think, more than 4 rocket projects before us. So we had a huge pool of knowledge for all the little things that we did not have to find out ourselves. One main issue we tackled is that since we have a different parachute than what was used before, we needed a different kind of way to manage the lines of this parachute, because you can imagine, as a parachute, it has many different lines going up, and if they entangle in any way during the launch, the parachute doesn't open and you just crash into the ground. And to manage them properly and make it reliable, we had to do some rethinking from previous projects.
Yeah, we've been now today here for a very long time. What were like the hurdles to this point? I mean, we tried to launch now a bit earlier, but now we are a bit delayed. What are currently the things which are a bit delaying the launch?
The thing is, there's not really one big thing, but there's many small steps that just always take a few minutes longer than you anticipated. And that just adds up over an entire day. We didn't really have any major hiccups from a safety side and also from an assembly side. It worked fairly well considering, but it's just the little things. You always, maybe there is something, a misalignment there is a small leakage there that you need to fix, and that just adds up over the course of the day.
Yeah, I think now all our viewers are already very much anticipating the launch, so maybe you can quickly also say now we are here. I think the team is ready to come back, so a big part of the team already came back from the launch rail. Maybe you can take the audience through what's happening next and kind of what the target is for our current launch.
So for the next 5 minutes, give or take, we'll have everyone except for Max and Anna, who are still up there doing the igniter. Everyone else is coming back down to the mission control area, and then we go into a red flag status. That means that everyone has to vacate the area and the entire range is closed. That's what will happen during the next few minutes, and then we'll do a lot of tests and checks to ensure that the battery is stable, our telemetry connection is stable, and all these other steps, so that we can have a successful launch. I would estimate that would take maybe another 25-20 minutes, but you never know what's going to happen, sadly.
Yeah, we all know rocket science is hard science, and I think we're not the first ones to have a rocket launch delay. Luckily, I think our launch window is until what, 5:30?
5:30. We're well within margin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even if things do go wrong, let's cross our fingers that doesn't happen. We still have sufficient safety margin there.
Yeah, I'm very confident that we will actually launch within the next 20 minutes, because many things that could have gone wrong already have or have not. I don't think that there's that much room for error, but knock on wood. knock on wood.
So
Yeah, maybe if we will go on, we had a question, a pressing question in the chat. The question was, how fast is your guiding recovery system traveling through air?
So we have 3 stages. The first one is the ballistic stage, so with just a rocket. I'm not quite sure about the velocity there, but let's just stay fast. As soon as the drogue chute goes out, we're at 38 meters per second as a stable velocity. And when we get to the main parachute, we have a 12 to 13 meters per second forward velocity with 7 to 8 meters per second down.
So that is still quite fast. How
That's
do you
pretty
make
quick.
sure? How to make sure that upon touchdown the rocket actually comes down safely? 7 to 8 meters is still quite fast.
It is a lot, but the structures has been designed to withhold that. We were trying to implement a flare maneuver where we just pull on the lines and just brake down before touchdown, but we did not quite get into implementing that. But we have had 7 helicopter drop tests, and up until now, structural integrity it worked.
Yeah.
It didn't break apart. So we're hoping, since it's the same parachute and essentially the same test, just without a helicopter, but with a rocket, we're confident that will actually bring down the entire rocket as one piece.
Yeah, so maybe this today is your first launch as PERIPHAS. After this launch today, if it is successful, which we all hope it is, what will happen later on with PERIPHAS?
First, we'll take a break for a month, and then we'll start preparation for Europe, because mid-October we're going to Portugal. We'll show at the European Rocketry Challenge our guided recovery system and our rockets, and we'll try to win that thing. Hopefully, maybe. First we launch.
Cool. And yeah, we already asked this question previously. For you, looking back, how was this year for you personally? How was this focus project? How was PERIPHAS looking back?
It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. It was a lot of fun, and I've met amazing people, hardworking people, motivated people, and many of them have become great friends now, but also really stressful. I'm looking forward to having to do less for ARIS for the next few months, maybe, or the next month. But all in all, amazing experience, for sure.
Cool. I think we are all excited to see the launch today. Fingers crossed. I think it's best now to maybe get you back to your team.
Thank you.
On safety, on the safety side, and yeah, we will for sure stream further on, probably the launch site, and yeah, we will see you again very soon. What would you say?
I think currently the target was a launch at around 15:30. I'm not sure. Given from what you see now, is this still realistic or?
I'll have to ask.
Okay.
Safety isn't strictly involved in the launch procedure. We just make sure that there's no people around that could get hurt.
Then let's do it like this. I think
I'll come back to
we'll
you.
zone out for now, and we'll give an update in the comment section on when we'll be back. I guess that will then be shortly before the launch. Currently, be ready for some time around 15:30ish, but we'll give some more info by the comments on YouTube. Then thanks, Fabian, again,
Thank you for having me.
and then see you guys in a bit.
See ya.
Ja, wir gucken mit der Kabellänge einfach.
Probier's mal ein bisschen, leg das mal ein bisschen.
Wo? Ich sehe gerade unser Launcher gar nicht.
Das ist die zweite Straße rechts. Über den 4 Kugelfang.
Ja,
Jetzt ist der Betrieb deutlich besser.
Ja.
Gut.
Dann kann ich so und direkt in die Sonne gucken.
Machst du das mal jetzt?
Oder ich
Hast du eine Sonnenbrille?
Ja, ja. Aber ich möchte die Rakete gerne in its full glory sehen.
Sind schon vergangen oder
Scheiß auf meine Augen, Rakete ist wichtiger.
Ich glaube mit der Brille für mich. Das ist mir.
Willst du mir
relayen,
dass der Countdown...
Nein, das ist nicht mein. Nein. Nein, fast die gleiche.
Sind die
Fabian am Tower ist
Ja,
nicht
ich
drin.
Eigentlich schon, ja. Eigentlich steht nur vor die Leute.
Ja, das sind wir nicht drin. Aber dann müssen wir irgendwie...
Ein Funk kann durchgeben, wenn ich runtergehe.
Du kannst noch.
Ja, ich habe einen Punkt informiert, ich habe gehört, dass es
Wir können noch ein bisschen informieren.
Dann haben wir
Nein, und du eine
Ja. Fabian am Tower. Sehen wir die Fuhre, wo sie durchfahren? Ja.
Oder theoretisch könnte ich auch bei mir stehen.
Ja, aber von mir aus. Das hat auch noch das Ding da, das alle machen.
Angehalten und stiegen aus, aber ich sehe das nicht.
Einfach Abstand von Mission.
Wir können auch von mir aus können wir anstehen. Ich habe über den Punkt irgendwie unseren Coach und sagt über den Aaron und er sagt abzählen. Nein, die chillen.
Solange sie dort
Ja, bring einfach den Aaron und Funk. Oder
kein Problem. Ansonsten, wenn sie wieder würden
Also ich
einsteigen,
tue sagen, ready for army.
nachfahren.
Okay, wenn du all das Zeug sagst.
Ja. Der Aaron soll dann einfach sozusagen die Visitors mitziehen.
Aber hätte ich gesagt, unser Team darf da bleiben. So
Perfekt,
da,
dann geht das aber, nimm das Radio nicht mit, halt das im Tower.
Habt ihr Phasen, also in der Liftoff, Burnout, Apogee?
wie meinst du?
Habt ihr das, wisst ihr, seht ihr das?
Wir sehen
Also ich kann es
vom
direkt
Cat,
sagen.
vom Cat sehen wir es nicht, wir sehen unsere Lift-Off Detection und dann Separation. etc.
Also die Lift-Off Detection am Anfang interessiert mich mehr da.
Ja.
Die ist wichtiger.
Das wird immer noch Telemetrie haben, Tennis.
Ich werde das nicht sagen.
Ja, am besten.
Bloß wenn der Airbrake etwas macht. Sag
Ja.
Airbrakes. Was ich nicht gedacht habe, wie gesagt,
Was wir nicht hoffen, alle zusammen.
ich hoffe, sie machen etwas.
ist wieder clear. Wir warten jetzt, es geht wieder los mit Igniting, Insertion und Arming und dann kommen wir zusammen.
Stark und unten. Warte an Range Section, eine Red Flag und Ignite stehen, aber dann ist der lieber mit reingestanden.
Bitte. Moritz?
Ja. Und schauen, ob ich das eben
Ich sage ihm, wenn er nur zum Stützenstand verwirrt, ist das okay, aber nicht.
Ja, danke schön.
Ist der scheiß Energy?
Stützenstand ist
Turned off display, never. There you go. Luftraumüberwachung.
Geil.
tatsächlich gemessene Luftveränderung, oder?
Das ist ein, wir haben einen ADS-B-Transponder.
Ja,
Und Fly.
Und Farm. Wobei eine von den Antennen ein bisschen shitty ist.
Wie groß haben wir da?
Ja, wir können es auch größer einstellen, aber ich weiß nicht, wie weit die Range von den Transponder ist.
Den Gleitschirm wird es doch nicht sehen.
Wir sehen ja sonst auch, ob der Luftraum 4 ist.
Nein.
Und du willst, kann ich auch nochmal ein Visual machen, wie gleich der ein bisschen weiter vorne.
Nein, not before range safety. Ja, Flugzeuge.
Okay, jetzt warten wir nur noch auf Max und Anna und dann geht es dann langsam los. Wir sind Nerven. Ich bin voll gechillt.
Leicht übermüdet, leicht nervös.
Zum Glück habe ich vorher ein Bier gesoffen.
Nein, sie ruft nur da.
Ja, übrigens, jetzt sind alle live.
Ups. Ups, das ist nicht.
Nummer 1, Nummer 1.
Ja.
Ich stehe natürlich dann voll in der Kamera.
Du hast ein klein mehr nachkommen stellen.
Ja, gut.
Du musst einfach das Talte geschehen.
Ob es wirklich etwas bringt, ist eine andere
Ja,
Frage.
das ist 10 Meter genau. Und das längt für mich zum Recovery
Ja.
ohne Probleme.
Also wir haben ja bei uns durchaus können 2 Meter, 1 Meter Bewegungen erkennen.
Jetzt das Ding ist, ich transmitte einfach 12 Byte.
Ja,
Dann
ja,
habe ich
okay.
nicht mehr Platz. Das
Ja
geht
klar, da kannst du einfach nicht genau sein. Es muss auch nicht genau sein, es ist völlig unnötig.
Aber zum
Ja,
Recovery 10 Meter locker.
Ja, für Guidance ist es noch ein bisschen wichtiger, aber auch dort, also 5 Meter Genauigkeit, für genaue Flug schon nicht.
Kannst du versuchen, die Karte zu formatieren? Sonst gibt es ja auch.
Wie sagt's?
Ich habe in der App, wenn du verbunden bist. Einstellungen und unten ist Reset irgendwas. Und da kannst du Reset SD-Card machen.
Gut, das ist das letzte Item für
Ja, das wird jetzt aber nicht gehen, aber das hat einiger funktioniert nicht.
Ist das 360 oder die?
Weiß ich nicht, aber ich habe beide vorher clean formatiert und gecheckt, also das weiß ich nicht, warum es geht. Genau, um das mich zu verhindern.
Haben die dann schon aufgenommen, oder was?
Nein. Ich weiß nicht, ob die Karte nicht ganz, vielleicht ist sie zu heiß oder so.
Falls noch ein Bus siehst, rauffahren, bitte melden. Dankeschön.
Ja, aber die ist oben Contract, die eine, also wenn es die ist.
Aha, okay.
Oh, das ist ein Wanderer, oder?
Perfekt, danke vielmals. Standardschluss.
Bei der Kamera, ich werde da stehen mit der Antenne, ich weiß nicht, ob ihr die anderen Fuß wollt, dass ihr
Verstanden. Schade, aber okay.
Zur Kamera?
Kamera. Okay.
Okay, jetzt beide nicht, wenn sie gerade schon.
Du siehst ja eh nicht.
Klar, ich meine, die Rakete ist ja 360 gewesen. Ich habe alles kontrolliert, ich habe extra mit der Checklist gemacht. Nein, das ist noch nicht ein kleines T-Shirt.
Stellen wir als kurzer Input, wir launchen. Wir können frühestens in 13 Minuten launchen. Jeder Bus noch muss runterfahren.
Also zuerst mit dem unsere 2 Minuten.
Ja, weißt du,
bis der Fabi runterfährt.
Hast du einen Timer gestellt oder so?
Wir können erst fahren, wenn der Tonzeit ist.
Schade, wir sind ja schon mal cool gewesen. Ich steht wie eine Oberfläche.
Ich habe das gerade nicht.
Adrian von der Bus von der Skihütte ist gerade losgefahren.
Perfekt, danke schön.
Das geht
Verstandenschluss, danke.
bis die da unten runtergekommen sind, ist es genau perfekt.
Solange Sie eben noch zum Zustand stehen, klar ist, dass Sie nicht weiter runtergehen, ist das okay. Verstandenschluss, danke schön.
Der Kurdin nicht oben ist aber schon gut.
Er denkt damit. Ich mag das gut.
Wind.
Wir haben dort oben einen auf dem Berg.
Brauchen wir noch einen Feldstecher da?
Hast du nicht einen, Nico?
Ich meine der Max, wegen dem Wind oben. Achtung Antenne, Döme.
Danke.
Gut gehabt.
Ich denke nicht mehr mit. Ich habe abgeschaltet. Danke überhaupt noch.
Du musst einfach nur Antenne.
Genau, ich weiß ungefähr, wo die Rakete ist und wenn sie hochgeht, sehe ich sie hoffentlich.
Finde ich, haben wir trotzdem Verbindung auf einen.
Ja, ich meine, die Rakete kann sonst was machen, wir haben trotzdem verbinden.
Moritz, du hast schon so häufig die Sonne geschaut, ich weiß nicht, was du dir noch gesehen hast. Sehen wir echt Flammen, oder ist es das Hirn?
Ja, wir sind Rauch.
Ja, das schon. Aber die Flamme selber.
Also, ob man die Ignitor sieht, ist die Frage. Aber schau mal,
Aber die Ignitor sieht man nicht, der ist ja hinten unten. Der kommt gar nicht.
da siehst du.
Schieferlich schön.
Das rollt so schon rein.
I'm very proud to be working with you all.
Also, wenn jetzt echt die Ignitor nicht funktioniert, dann. Jetzt funktioniert alles.
Da muss ich näher tun.
Wir haben 2 Igniter und einen kleinen Rocket Motor. Wenn das nicht funktioniert, dann haben wir noch mehr.
Das Rocket Motor sieht man.
Hä, was? Einen halben kleinen haben wir.
Feuerwerk, oder? Ja, Graugurt.
Wenn das nicht geht, haben wir immer noch 2 weitere Igniter. Wenn wir 2 Igniter aufgeschnitten mit einem kleinen Rocket Motor.
2 Stunden eigentlich.
Nice.
GoPro?
Das ist die Idee.
Also literally das, was nachher.
Nein, aber ich meine, ich habe das schon gemacht. Ich habe von der GoPro
Nein. Das letzte, was ich mache, ist.
GMA voor Anna en GoPro Maximum als dat wat je aanschaut. Ignition is armiert. Ignition box is ready, motor is ready. We gaan met even terug. Dan gaat hij over.
Alles klar, Windspeed haben wir nochmal gemessen.
De meter is niet open, aber 2 meter per seconde maximaal. Over.
Standard, danke, kommen da.
Das ist die ganze Zeit wieder 4.
Das ist easy, das Lüftchen.
Padbox Power Up. Hast du noch nicht abgehört?
Padbox Power Up machen wir sobald hier sind.
Nein, der meint das, der dabei.
Also ja.
Padbox.
Stimmt.
Launchbox.
Launch Control Box.
Ja. Sie fahren jetzt runter. 5 Minuten bis da sind. Nachher nochmal, also 15 Minuten max.
Das haben wir schon früher oft gesagt.
Ich mache eher ein zu lang Estimate.
20.
Immer 15 Minuten.
Also jetzt los steht, es ist alles armiert und sie kommen runter. Und sobald sie da sind,
Es ist alles borniert.
alles ist inserted, sie fahren runter.
Ja, aber das kannst du 10 Minuten gehen, wenn du
Vergiss das Anspielen.
Wenn wir noch was anspielen?
Nein. Das ist schon reingezogen.
Schon reingezogen?
Ich mache den Teil.
Ja. Ein Fuller.
Können wir den weg?
Wir können alles anfangen.
Ja.
Nein. Ich muss nicht, bevor wir nicht.
Wie lange ist es?
Wie lernst du denn da jetzt Scheiße?
Wir kommen, Judy Stachel ist das Schießen zum Außenrum.
Ja, gell?
Das ist so geil.
Das ist so geil.
Ich sehe sie. Sie sind gerade das Tor zu machen.
Ja, gut ist es. Man sieht jetzt nur das Grain nicht mehr so schön wie eben.
Ah,
es spiegelte sich aber das Licht so.
Man
schön.
sieht es, einen Hauch sieht man noch.
Ja, man sieht es noch, aber eben war es so.
Also, Aaron, kannst du deklarieren, dass der Ignite drinnen ist? Und sie fahren jetzt ab und es geht wirklich nicht mehr.
Sein Call to Action.
Ich glaube, die Wir haben es schon durchgesprochen, wir schauen es vielleicht mal mit dem Max noch mal kurz an, aber wir sind ready für euch. Wir haben es jetzt so gemacht, das Core-Team da vorne steht, auf der Wiese hinein, 10 Meter hinter ihnen.
Mega cool.
Was ist das? Ja, das wäre noch nicht doch nur auch. Das ist schade.
Ja,
das ist
I'm just calling out flying objects. Alright?
Call out this pen.
Fuck off.
Der ist schon mal gezeigt.
Sieht man den?
Nein, schon mal.
Ich weiß halt nicht, ob wir die 20 Minuten überhaupt abdecken können.
Ich sage,
also, das sind Airliners, die werden unsere Flugverbotszone schon respektieren.
also ich hoffe, es ist nicht ganz besucht wird. Nein. Das ist auch. ISS hätte müssen wir nachmachen.
Habt ihr schon einen Tag, Jungs, hä?
Holz relativ schnell. Ja, aber richtig,
Das Bitterli.
Schmeckst du sie Urin?
Du bist auch mich so ein Bier, ich liebe es. Was?
Nein, da muss man Kamera.
Was? Ah ja. Ah, der fliegt von Norden. Also das ist der, du musst ja Norden stehen.
Ja, genau.
So.
Meinst du? Ah ja, stimmt. Blöd, nicht so falsch. Jetzt ist ah ja. Der hier ist das Flugzeug.
6
Nicht so weg.
Ja, der Jagd.
Yes.
Okay. Hat die Bestätigung von Taylor? Nein, aber mehr aber. Ah, der Bus? Ja. Der Bus ist abgeholt. Also.
Schon jemand hinterher?
Für mich da rüber? Ja. Ich sag doch jemand Bescheid, dass
Alright.
Let's go, Team! Also los!
Kannst du jetzt noch genau an, Schritt für Schritt?
Oh, come on, Anna.
Kein Kommentar. Just silence.
Aber so steht was jetzt quasi genau wie gesagt, die nächsten Schritte.
Aha, wirklich jetzt Sie kommen Max an und sagen, wir sprechen einmal durch, was wir genau machen. Ja. Und dann los.
Go-No-Go-Checks. Kurz vorher schalten wir die Box noch an. Go-No-Go-Checks. Dann Guided Recovery Arming, Rocket Arming, Rocket 5.
Okay, würde ich fest vom Punkt starten.
Yeah.
Is excited? Yeah.
Fabian on 13.
Jetzt fährt er verstärken.
Ja, jetzt.
Ja, langsam. Hast du noch ein gummige Bein? Das habe ich nur das erste Mal gehabt, als ein Helikopter geflogen ist. Ja. Das ist die noch
Ich habe den Kabel nie gesehen haben.
ist zum ersten Mal gehabt, als ich Armin zum ersten Mal Armin war.
Das ist schon...
Und dann
Einer von Norden durch die 10.500 Meter.
Das ist... Aber jetzt bin ich nochmal nicht, weil es wird jetzt wieder etwas anderes. Oder? Es ist wieder ein System von unserer Seite, das untestet ist. Also
ja.
untestet.
Nicht schon mal so
geflogen. Genau.
Ich warte noch, bis du bestätigst. Mit Hardware, die ich so nicht designen würde.
Wie?
Mit Hardware und Software, die ich so nicht designen würde. Mit Hardware und Software, die ich so nicht designen würde.
Also mit deiner eigenen Software auch nicht mehr so designen, deine eigene Hardware.
Ja, die ist besser geworden, als ich gedacht habe.
Die Hardware?
Die Hardware ist ein bisschen overclocked, aber sie ist Funktionalität.
Ja, Funktionalität,
Funktionalität ist
100%,
wunderbar.
Ja, ja.
Also wir können das nächste Competition Team kann ein bisschen was rausschneiden. Aber
ab jetzt wechselt in Channel 1 und dann hören wir Countdown, falls ihr den Notfall erkennt, sagt Stop, Stop, Stop.
Brieczki.
Wie?
20 Satelliten.
Ja, wir haben richtig viel.
So schön.
ja, ich bin gespannt, ob wir die verlieren.
Ja, ich
Ja,
auch.
das nimmt mich auch Wunder.
Solange wir nur die Hälfte verlieren, das heißt...
Ich denke, solange sie schnell genug wieder recovern, ist alles gut. Wenn nicht? Okay. Die Parsec ist schwierig.
Dani, können wir langsam kommen?
Fange da.
Also,
Station?
wir fangen an.
Also Max ist auch.
Also Max?
Hat ihr was dagegen, wenn die Launchstation da herstellt?
Ja, sicher.
Ich würde einfach gerne da stehen, neben dem Bildschirm.
Was wir jetzt machen, wir gehen noch einmal durch alles zusammen. Einfach die letzten Checks.
Okay. Ja.
Also nicht launchen?
Nein, einfach mal durchsprechen.
Achso.
Die Launch-Checks. Also, zuerst Time anschauen, Postauto und Long Ground Station, das ist dann Range Safety Go No-Go von Fabian. Structures ist es Go No-Go gegeben worden. Go No-Go GNC Officer, dann Telemetry Check Avionics. Das ist für uns nicht so wichtig, für ihn trotzdem. Dann Telemetry Check Guided Recovery, Battery Voltage Check Guided Recovery, Arm Guided Recovery, Go No-Go, das heißt Go oder No-Go. Telemetry of Ignition Box, Check von dir.
Mittlere LED,
Frage ich dich,
die
Go
eindeutig
No-Go.
Telemetry gelabelt ist. Was blinkt?
Dann sage ich am Moritz nochmal,
Achso,
dann sage ich am Moritz nochmal, dass jetzt langsam dass jetzt gerade der Last ist, dass du ready bist. Dann sage ich dir Arm PERIPHAS, dann sage ich mir 10 runter und Fire.
Ich sag dir gleich, es wird wahrscheinlich 2 bis 3 Sekunden mindestens dauern, bis irgendwas sichtbar ist.
Okay.
Also, Max, with your permission, I will power up.
Ja.
So, welcome back. You can hear us live from Wichlen, Canton Glarus here in Switzerland. We are back with an update on the launch. So right now it's red flag. Everybody's back. The most critical step has been done before mission operations here at the mission control. We will now try to give you some insights on what will happen. You can see in front of you the launch site, and we will do some commenting, Michael and I.
Correct. Welcome also from my side. Yeah, now you can't see us anymore, so I think there's two aspects to that. So currently we have some issues again with our camera. Fortunately, if we'll fix that, you will still probably not see us, but rather the mission control that is now set up right next to us. From there, the team will now try to commence the control sequence to actually have the rocket lift off. And yeah, so as I was told, currently the next steps are very brief. So since we have a COTS solid propellant engine, there's not so much you actually need to do. We're now going through the last checks of the system, getting the last goes, and it's really just a matter of a few minutes or even seconds now.
Telemetry check guide recovery.
We have now telemetry check, guided recovery, go.
Battery voltage check.
Battery voltage check, go.
Arm guided recovery.
We're now arming guided recovery.
Armed.
Guided recovery is armed.
Guided recovery is armed. Check telemetry ignition box. Check. Go no go launch officer.
On the top right you can see unfortunately flickering mission control. We will now
We'll go for launch.
Armed PERIPHAS.
PERIPHAS is armed.
PERIPHAS is armed.
9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire. Whoa!
Lift off.
Lift off.
Krass.
Okay.
So we have liftoff, we have arc over, and we have apogee,
Apogee is detected.
Stroke descent.
we have stroke descent,
Strokes out.
Main deployment.
we have main deployment. Fortunately, we lost sight.
Was? Ja, wir haben Fehler. Ja. 255 ZX. We have no telemetry is control.
And apparently we have issues with telemetry. No visual on the rocket.
Ja, verliert sehr viel Paket. So, jetzt
Only sparse data. We are now waiting on data.
We think that the descent velocity is low, so that would be an indication that the parachute is out. As we said, unfortunately the rocket really disappeared behind the hill.
Okay. So apparently range safety as visual contact with the rocket behind the mountain. From our point of view we cannot see it. Okay.
We heard that there might have been a problem with the main deployment. There was also probably quite some wind. As we've seen, the rocket made quite a turn to the left.
Ihr könnt die Bauern wieder befreien, dass sie führen sind.
Now currently we are looking with regards to safety if everything is safe also for any people around this place. And right now we confirmed there is no danger with the rocket. It landed with its stroke probably somewhere close to a river.
Und dann picken wir euch auf. Das gleiche für den Tower. Wir können wieder runterkommen.
So range safety is released and now it's time to figure out where to find the rocket. It's right now a bit hard to figure out really what happened, but we will keep you posted on this.
Good, thank you, welcome back everyone. So by now we have some update on the system. So indeed, we had a drogue recovery. Unfortunately, the main parachute could not be deployed. We already located the rocket, so we know where it is located, and the team will now evaluate whether they want to tackle a recovery still today. It landed in a bit rough terrain, so we need to see with that. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. I hope it was still interesting for you. It was definitely fun for me.
Yeah, for me as well. Absolutely.
And yeah, I think the next time you will hear from us will be from a live stream, hopefully next time from Portugal, again with project PERIPHAS.
And yeah, we hope to have you back on board again. To everyone, thank you very much for all the support you give us. It was a pleasure to be here today. It was a perfect day, but yeah, these things happen in rocket science, and we can always learn from things which do not go wrong and try to do our best that this doesn't happen in the future.
Exactly, I mean this is exactly the reason why we did this test, to screw up here and then perform in Portugal. So now the team will go back to the drawing board, see where it went wrong, and yeah, we're quite confident that in Portugal everything will go to plan.
Thank you very much, and see you guys next time.
Thanks, see you.